Hey, what's going on, everyone? Edgar Meza here with Amplify Media. In fact, this is the pilot episode for Amplify Media, and more coming on that and what that's all going to entail. But today's podcast is going to feature a young, up-and-coming boxing athlete, local to Garden City, also represents Oklahoma. Right?
Yeah.
I've known him for quite a while now, and became a little more acquainted with him now that he's older by doing photo shoots and things like that. But we have the one and only Eric Valencia here with us. So one thing that we're going to be doing today, we want to make it as chill as possible. So we're just going to have a conversation. Obviously, I have a list of questions, so you'll see me look down at my phone. But I want to kind of figure out who he is, what he's up to. In fact, he has a really big fight coming up here in less than a week, I think.
Yeah, like
right?
3 days, 4 days.
Yeah, so we wanted to put this out there, want to get the community involved, just a little bit, finding out who he is, what he does, because let me tell you, he's really, really damn good at what he does when it comes to boxing and probably a bunch of other stuff, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll start. So for someone that's has never heard of Eric Valencia or doesn't know you, obviously I've known you now. I've watched you fight a few times. I know you since you were a little kid, but I think my brother was more involved with Bad Boys?
Yeah, he was one of my coaches whenever I was out here.
Yeah, Bad Boys boxing back in the day. So for someone that doesn't know you, like, what tells a little bit about you, like where you're from, where you were born?
I was born and raised here in Garden City, Kansas. I lived here my whole life. I started boxing at the age of 8 or 9. I think my dad took me to the gym a little bit before that, but I didn't start competing until I was 8 and 9. He had took me to the gym whenever I was like 7, I believe. But I went for like a month and then I didn't like it. I remember I sparred for my first time and I got beat up. And I remember I started crying and I didn't like it. And I went for a couple more weeks and then I stopped. And then I went to the gym again and I stopped. And then like when I was in 3rd grade, my dad took me back again. And then ever since then, I've just been boxing. So.
Oh, dang.
So I was like 8 years old, 9 years old.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's kind of a cool story. You when you box, a lot of people like that you hear that are already pros. They're like, oh, this is what I wanted to do from the beginning. You know what I mean? Or they always have like a story like that, but you actually got beat up first.
Yeah, I got beat up. Yeah, they made me cry. I remember I cried and I didn't want to go back. But as I got older, then I really liked it, so I stuck with it ever since.
Oh, that's dope. So what role has Garden City played in shaping you? Obviously, you grew up here. Have you been here like your whole life? Or do you, because I know you train out of OKC too.
Yeah, I've been training here. I lived here my whole life. I didn't start leaving home until I was, I think, 17 years old. So like I was born and raised here. So
gotcha.
Been here my whole life. Growing up here, I feel like it, I don't know how to say it, it made me because like, I don't know how to explain it. Like I was always just in the gym. So like I was never really out and about, but just boxing, I feel like boxing helped make me who the person I am today with boxing. Like in the community, I always was able to travel because of boxing, like be able to see like different cities, different areas, like be able to travel, stuff like that. So I feel like that's what really helped become the person I am.
Now you started with Bad Boys boxing first, right?
Yeah, I started training at Bad Boys boxing like the first time I ever stepped foot in the gym because I had my dad worked with Manuel Rios at the plant.
Oh yeah.
So then like he became good friends with him at the plant, and then my dad was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take my son to the gym you train at," and that's why I ended up going there. And then later on when I went back to the gym again, it's because my dad was one of the coaches there named Felipe Bravo. My dad was his boss at work, so then that's when he took me back over there with them too.
Oh, nice. I know what happened. I can't remember what happened exactly because I remember when Bad Boys boxing, like the gym was gone. What happened after that? I can't remember.
It shut down. So the gym had shut down. The coach said that he wanted to like move on with his life and spend more time with his grandkids and stuff like that. So they shut the gym down. So then, in order for me to continue boxing, I had to join there's 2 gyms at the
Garden City.
Yeah, I had to join Garden City Boxing Gym. So then I joined that gym and I trained there from I was like seventh grade. So I was like 13 to 16. and then or 17 around there, but I can't remember. And then that gym shut down, and then that's whenever I was Juan. I had already met Juan already for a while. I've known him because him and his kids were going to that gym also, and then they started their own gym, and that gym shut down. So I was forced to move to his gym too, because that was the only gym open at that point.
Yeah, that's crazy too, because it's like I remember there used to be an MMA gym or a club anyway here in Garden City. So when Bad Boys Boxing shut down, I was like, man, what now? But I forgot Garden City Boxing, right? Was here. And I remember Juan, which this is one of the belts from Southwest Boxing. That's why I put it right here. Yeah, when he first started, I remember he started out of the garage first.
Yeah, he started training at in his garage. Yeah, I remember I used to always go to his house even before he had the gym, because he had a treadmill and like weights and stuff like that. Yeah. So I didn't have a gym membership, so if I needed like to run and lose weight and stuff, I would just go to his house, and he had the gym in the garage already. Yeah,
I remember. And then they ended up moving into, there was a little place over there by the railroad tracks. By what bar is that? Was it Rosie's? I think Rosie's bar.
Yeah, it's like right behind it.
Yeah, there's like a little shop. I remember I went to do a photo shoot over there, and man, the ring was the size of the building. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
barely fit in there.
Yeah, there was like barely any space. There was just like, I remember I went there a couple of times because I've always had even whenever I didn't train with Juan, I've always had like a real close relationship with him and his family and stuff like that. So I remember I go to the gym and help the kids out, and I remember the gym was like the wall was like here, and then there was no space in between the ring, and then there's like a couple of bags, but you know, to be a good boxer, you don't need nothing crazy. You just need a bag, a ring. That's it.
Yeah. You know, one thing that's really cool about that is the fact that, you know, obviously the progression between him starting in his garage to that place, and obviously where he's at now at Little Plaza, huge space now. You know what I mean? Perfect. I think they left equipment there too. No, like workout equipment was.
Yeah, it was like an old rec center, so there's like gym equipment from like the 80s maybe. I don't know, and it's cool. It's a cool spot. There's like racquetball rooms. Every room has a different purpose. So
you know what I like about it? When you're walking into the building, like you don't even know there's a gym down there, right? You walk in, it's a hallway, and then you're like, the first time I went there, I was like, what the heck? And then I was like, oh, it's downstairs. And then when you go downstairs, it opens up, and now you can see like all the equipment and everything like that.
Yeah, that's the first time I ever went into the gym. I was like, well, I didn't even know there's a gym here in the first place. I think that gym was open before I was even thought.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, we're talking to older guys. That gym, I guess one of my bosses that from Garden City Optometrist back in the day, he's already retired. I think it was Dr. Bowling or something like that. But they used to do a lot of racquetball competitions over there, like because they have the racquetball.
Yeah,
those are
there's 4 of them. And
yeah, the older guys, they like playing racquetball. I guess he was one of the big guys over there back in the day. So everyone's got like a thing that they like to do to kind of, I guess, deal with. Some people to deal or get away from bad things, right? So like maybe you're not in the best situation. So a lot of people like turn into maybe art, drawing, playing music. Going to the gym. You chose boxing.
Yeah.
And obviously it also came because your dad's like, hey, you gotta box. You know what I mean? But is there a reason why you are still boxing? Because I know a lot of people get burnt out. They start young, and then they get burnt out on it. But you seem to like, you're like in the beginning of it. Like you're just now getting started. You know what I mean? And especially with this up and coming fight, like I feel like what keeps you there? Like what keeps you boxing?
I feel like because I'm finally getting to live my dream, you know, like I've had since a kid, like you said, like everybody turns to something, and I fell in love with the gym, not just because like I really enjoyed boxing, like and what helped me out a lot too was like I feel like seeing the stories of boxers, you know, like I remember being at school, and instead of being schoolwork on the computers, I'd watch like documentaries of different boxers and stuff like that. So I felt like seeing their stories, like how they go from rags to riches, they get to change their family's life. So like since a kid, I've always like had that in my mental, like I gotta stick with it because eventually it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off. I'm living my dream. I'll be able to change like my people around me, my family's life. So that's what always like kept me hungry to it. And then I genuinely loved being in the gym. You know, like at home, like I was raised by a single mother, and I always had my father in my life, but like he he would work the night shift. So like I was never really got to be around my dad. He had to take care, you know what I mean? He had to work also. My mom worked 2 jobs. I had an older brother that wasn't really ever home. So like I always, every day after school, I was like, oh, I can't wait to go to the gym. I can't wait to go to the gym. I got to be around other people my age. I got to be with other people that I look up to. So that's what just always helped me. And then like I never realized it when I was younger, but like now that I look back on it, like it really helped me like stay on track. Like I went to, growing up, I was in the gym with a lot of people. Like I met like crazy people. Like you meet like the most randomest people inside of a boxing gym. Like you go to a boxing gym, you'll meet a rich kid, you'll meet a kid that's poor. Like you have like a melting pot of people, you know, you meet different type of people. And then, but like I go looking back, I see for my friends that I came up with, and like some of them, when they're in the gym, they were doing good. And then when they left the gym, they started like wandering off the wrong path, or some started doing good, but most of the time it was always bad, you know? So I felt like me always was like, I got to learn from other people and other people's mistakes. So I'm like, I just got to stay in the gym and stay a course, and eventually it's going to be worth it.
Oh, that's good. I like that. No, I think some people learn by making mistakes, like messing up.
Yeah.
It's always really nice when, not nice, but obviously some people mess up around you.
Yeah.
Which is not good. You know what I mean? But it's really nice to see a young guy like you learning from other people making mistakes, right? Because then you know what happens. You know what happens if you do certain things. And then so being able to avoid them by seeing someone else's experience, I think that's kind of nice, because you don't have to go through that. You don't waste your time going through those things.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta learn from everybody around you, good and bad. Like I forgot what the quote was like a wise person learns from other people's mistakes. Like, that make them.
Yeah, so I try to do the same thing even now. You know what I mean? I try to really look at older people. I'm 40 now. But a lot of the guys that I hang out with are older, 10, 15 years older than me. And it's nice because they've already experienced things, you know what I mean? So it's really nice to be able to have somebody that you can talk to that has been through it. And to someone that can actually bring you up to their level. Yeah. I mean, that's probably one of the things that I've learned in the last few years is, being around people that are going to bring you up to their level. Not trying to stay there by themselves and not bring anybody
bring you up with them.
I think but that's pretty good for you being a young guy, you know. Because how old are you?
I'm 21.
21. You're young. You super young, but you seem to have a good leveled head. You know what I mean?
I feel like you just gotta not just study, like you just gotta study everybody around you and learn from other people. And I don't know, like I feel like it just mentally, like, I feel like I'm 21, but I feel like for my age I'm a little mature.
Yeah, no, for sure, 100%. So I've watched you fight quite a few times now, and one of the coolest things is I like the fact that I'm like right there at ringside.
You're up close and personal.
Yeah, when I'm taking pictures, like now there are times when I have to like back up the camera. You know what I mean? Because you guys are like your feet are right there, or the action is like right there, so I have to back up a little. Sometimes I get a little close to, and I don't know if you've noticed, but like the refs will call me out on it. They'll be like, "Hey, you got to back up." Like the camera can't be under the lights. You know what I mean? But I will say I've watched you fight some dudes that I'm like, God, that dude looks like he's big.
He's big. He's big, but I feel like
because you're in great shape. Don't get me wrong. Like you're in super good shape, right? So some of those dudes though, they look like monsters, right?
Yeah.
And so visually, I think most people, this is just normal. I think most people visually, when they see somebody that looks jacked, they assume,
everybody always tells me that.
Like it's over.
Yeah, it's because they see me. It's because most of the time, whenever I'd fight here at home, in order for me to fight, I would have to fight guys. I'd have to go up and wait. Like I think most of the times you see me fight, like I have to. Like I recently in the amateurs, I fought 132, 139.
Okay.
So those guys that I would be fighting like at 150. So like the last time I fought here in Garden and I stopped him, he's like actually one of my friends, but he fights like at 156. So I had to go up from like 139 to 156 to fight him.
One of your friends, how was that?
He's one of my, like, it was kind of hard. Like, he's not my, like, great, like, my closest friend, but, like, we interact with each other. Yeah, we've known each other for years. So, like, at tournaments we're like on the Golden Gloves team. We went to the same we've been on the same team like 3 years. So he's like my friend, but at the end of the day, like I gotta fight, you know, like
100%.
And he's in like I gotta in order for me to fight in front of my hometown, I gotta fight him. So it's gotta handle business, you know, it's nothing personal.
Yeah.
But it's still my friend to this day, but even to this day he's like, "Dang, bro, like you posted me on Instagram, you was beating me up." I'm like, "Hey, bro, like it's just a part of it, you know?"
And nowadays your social media is also kind of the way you put yourself out there.
Yeah,
Right. So like you have to put that out.
Yeah, like sometimes I feel bad, like whenever I knock somebody out and I have to put them on there. But at the end of the day, like I used to feel bad, like I used to have sympathy. But then my coach is like, "You can't." Like at the end of the day, if they did that to you, you know that's gonna be up the next hour.
Yeah, they would be doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah, they'd be doing the same thing.
Yeah, the last guy I watched you fight, because I missed this last one. I was out of town, but the last guy I watched you fight, he was pretty jacked dude. And you stopped him too.
Yeah.
I think with body shot, wasn't it? Like, but
Oh, I know. I think I just gave him like I had dazed him a little bit, so then the rest started counting. But yeah, that was the guy that I had to go. He fights at 156.
Yeah, I was gonna say because he
was big.
He was big. So
Yeah.
he was obviously rehydrated. You know,
He was big. Yeah, he was strong. But you know what I mean. I know what like mentally. I know I have this. Like at first, you're kind of like get a little nervous, but I know what I can do, and I know that I got the skills to.
Yeah.
No matter if he's bigger than me, I still have the skills and more skills than him.
So every fight I've watched so far, you've obviously pretty much, I guess the ones I've seen, you've dominated, right? So what's been the hardest fight? Like, have you had a really hard fight?
I feel like mentally, like to get in like a fight, like I haven't really had like any like tough fights. Like I remember like I think the toughest fight, like to sit down and like where I had to like grab it, like get my stuff together and like, "Hey bro, like we need this round. You need to like sit there and dig. Like you need to fight." Like it was like in I think it was like 2019, 2020. Actually, I don't think so. It was like 2022 maybe. It was at a tournament in Wichita, the Summer Festival. And I fought some kid from Texas. And like, if you know boxing, all the kids from Texas come to fight. They're all tough. And then like going into, it was like for me to go to the semifinals. And then my coach was like, "Bro, like it's tied up the scores." Cause at the tournaments, they show you the scores and she's like, "Bro, you need this round."
Okay.
So like, I know you're tired, but you got to push. So like, I remember like being so tired, but like in my head, I'm like, I'm not going to let him beat me. I got to do everything it takes. Like I'm leaving it all in the ring. So I remember like just I working or I dogging him and I won. But like that is, to me, that's not really that, like the fight is hard, but like you train hard for moments like that. But like, I feel like my hardest fights are always like against guys that move a lot. Like,
Gotcha.
Like that, like to move and that have like, that are great boxers that have a lot of good like foot movement and fast feet. So like, I feel like those always were like my toughest fights. I had a fight in the semifinals of the Golden Gloves. I fought a kid. He was on the Olympic team. He's on the Olympic team right now. His name's Dustin Jimenez. I think he's probably one of the toughest fighters. Like just as a skills wise, not like having to sit there and fight, because he was very fast on his feet, very good boxer, very skilled. So I feel like that's probably one of my most difficult fights.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I think just getting to the ring is probably the toughest road, right? Is like all the training.
Yeah, that's the fun part. Fighting is the fun part. I feel like training is the hard part. That's where you have to put yourself through torture, pain so whenever if you ever get there, you're ready for it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No, that's man. I have much respect to you guys that get up there. You know, I'm around a lot of wrestling because my kids wrestle and everything. So, obviously we know what the training is.
Yeah.
And then the matches are 6 minutes.
Yeah, like you train like 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day to wrestle for 3 minutes, 6 minutes. Like that's how it is. Like people always don't understand that, but that's what it takes to be good at whatever you want to do.
Yeah. All right. So, how do you deal with self-doubt? Is there any time or any of the fights that you've had recently, has there been a time where you're like, "Oh man, I don't know." Like I would imagine the weight cut would be probably the toughest part.
Yeah, the cutting weight, like whenever you're cutting weight, you do question yourself, like when you step on the scale and you look at the scale and you're like, "Dang, I lose 6 pounds, I lose 7 pounds tomorrow." I feel like, but once you get like locked in and you start doing it, it's not that hard. But I feel like I did used to suffer a lot from like not believing in myself as much. Like I remember I used to like be very, like me, I'm confident as hell now. Like I feel like I can beat anybody. But like whenever I was a little younger, I used to always like, I was insecure, I was very like, "Oh, I don't know if I can beat him." Like I would go into fights kind of defeated. So like I kind of had to like train myself to be confident. Like I would just watch like videos of like athletes talking about self-confidence and like different like TED Talks and stuff like that. Different like sports, like psychiatrists and stuff like that. And I just had to like teach myself how to be confident. And then like, I know it sounds probably crazy, but I would just sit there all day at work and like just talk to myself all day. Like I'm confident, I'm the best, like stuff like that. Or even to this day, every morning, every night, I say affirmations to myself, look at myself in front of the mirror just so I can always make sure I'm always like, I'm always confident, you know, like now it's just, I'm confident. I know I can beat anybody, but back then I had to train myself to do it. It was
probably because you know you work really hard, right?
Yeah.
So you know you're doing what it takes you're doing everything that you have to do in order to make it to the ring. You know what I mean? So you know you're putting the hard work.
Yeah, but sometimes I felt like I used to work too much. Like my coach would be like, "Hey, bro," like I remember like my coach Nikki, like whenever I was in Oklahoma, I lived with her. I live with her whenever I'm in Oklahoma. Like I stay with her, but like she'll catch me like, "Hey, bro, where are you going?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm about to go run." She's like, "Why are you running?" And I was like, I don't know. I just don't. It's like I feel like my insecurity would make me like overdo it. Like I remember going into a tournament, like I did too much. Like I was overworked. My body was already shut down. Like I did too much because I wanted to outwork my nerves. You know, like I overdid it, like because I was like, oh, I got to do more. I got to do more.
Yeah.
So like I feel like you just have to like mentally like change yourself. Like you're like, all right, this is enough. Like my coach told me done. It's done. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, that makes sense. I was watching this podcast. It was George St. Pierre's coach, and he was talking about how he was talking about the way that people work out, right? Like some people work out to the point where like every day they take it to the like 100%.
Yeah,
you know, they take it 100%, and they're so burnt out. And the next day, try to like do it again and do it again. Yeah. So he and I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he was like, you know what, do it to where, you know, you don't take it all the way to 100% all the time, because you're gonna want to come back the next day and you'll be able to push yourself just hard enough. But if you do it to the point of like every day,
you're gonna burnt out. Yeah, I feel like I had to do that. I had to learn that like trial and error. But at the end of the day, like my coach would be like, "Hey, bro, chill. You don't have to do that today. You're already done for the day. You don't need to do more." But like me in my head, I'm like have the mentality of like nothing's enough. I have to do more. I have to do more. So like sometimes I have to check myself. Like, hey, bro, you already sparred. Like I remember like one time I sparred 10 rounds and then I went to go run like 4 miles afterwards. And by the time I got home, my coach looked at me like, "Bro, what are you doing? Like you need to chill. Like we about to fight in a week. You're doing too much." I'm like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah. Now with boxing, I'm sure like we're talking about, you know, kind of trying to get rid of the nerves by overworking, things like that. Is there pressure on you when you box? Like right now, obviously you have goals, right?
Yeah.
Fairly young still, but I know you obviously have goals that you want to get to. Is there any pressure that you put on yourself to reach some of these goals?
Yeah, I feel like I put pressure on myself, honestly. Like I feel like, I have to win, I have to handle whatever in front of me, because you know, like in boxing, like you can lose one fight and you're done.
Yeah.
So like even as the amateurs, I used to like put pressure on myself. Like even though I'm fighting for free, I'm not making no money, no nothing. But I'm like, I have to win. I have to do good. I gotta make it I gotta be ranked in the country so people can see me. I need people to recognize me, because in my head I'm like, I have to do it. Like this is like I'm putting my all into this. I can't lose. Like I want to take care of my family eventually. I want to be able. I have a lot of things I want to do, but I have to do my job first in order to get to that point.
Yeah. I noticed like in MMA, in UFC or MMA in general, the record is not as...
No, I don't mean nothing in UFC.
Yeah, it doesn't, right? Like you could have a okay record, and if you have a good streak of fights, like the UFC might be watching you. And you know what I mean? But in boxing, I noticed you have to have like you have to be pretty good. You have to have a good record before they even start looking at you.
Yeah, you have to build yourself up. And the thing is that like with boxing, like there's a lot of boxers, they lose one fight and they get written off and they get fed to the wolves, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like, I don't know, boxing is a little different, but hopefully it changes more now because like the way they're, like a lot of people are bringing more money to the sport. So a lot of guys aren't really scared to take the risk because they're making millions of dollars. So a little better. So,
you know, it's funny. I was watching that interview with Rolly Romero. He hardly ever makes sense here. It's funny as hell. But he did say he made some really good points in this interview I watched. And one of those points was like, you guys are paying people so much, like to that, shoot, they're already getting the money by showing up. So
they like her to lose.
The Canelo versus Skull fight.
Yeah.
You know, Skull was like,
you ain't fighting hungry. You know, like I feel like that's what Dana White says, like, you get paid this to show up. Like, I mean, personally, I'm like, bro, we need our money. We're putting our life on 100%. But, like, a fed dog is not going to run as fast as a dog that's starving. So, like, if you give this guy $500,000 to fight and he gets another $500,000, $1 million to win, he's gonna fight way harder than if he gets
100%.
all that up front. You know,
Instead of like they guarantee you $1 million right off the bat.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I'm golden.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Like I don't have to take the risk. I can't like.
Yeah.
It's that William School guy was getting paid half, but if he won and did good, he'd get the full. He probably would have took more risks, but he was making.
And plus, you're fighting Canelo. I figured like, hey, I'm in the ring already. Like, I might as well try to make a point. Even if you lose, at least you like
your stock go. Like, I feel like that's the thing too. Like guys that like Isaac Cruz, like Pitbull Cruz, he made a name for himself, give and take a good fight. So like I feel like, if you give people a good fight and the fans like fall in love with you, you're gonna get brought back. You know what I mean? Win or lose. Like there's a lot of like Gabe Rosado has a lot of losses, but he gave people good fights, so they kept bringing him back. Like
and I think that's something that like in the UFC they're very forgiving too, right? Because people, they can fight, and as long if it's a great fight, like you don't lose anything by losing.
No, the fans still love you.
Yeah, your stock goes up. They want to see you again. You know what I mean? That's one thing I hope boxing gets to that level. Because I was a boxing fan before I was a UFC. Because boxing's been around for forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember my dad, one of his shirts was the Mike Tyson versus Holyfield back in the day. I was a little kid. But I remember my dad always getting together, friends and everything, and watching boxing. You know what I mean? Especially when Julio Cesar travels.
Yeah, like everybody has, like that's what I love about boxing, like the culture. Like everybody pitches in, get the pay-per-view. We have like a carne asada. Everybody gets their family together. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's what me too. Like whenever I fight in my head, I always think about like people that maybe not everybody that's here, but let's say like people spent their hard-earned money to come. Like me, that fight in my head, like I feel I'm entitled to give people a good fight. Like me, like I don't come from. My family they're rich. They're all hard. Like a lot of my family works at the plant or stuff like that. So or even a lot of my supporters, they're all like going back on how you say, like, whenever you told me about the community, I was like, I didn't really have a good answer, but like me, I feel like the community made me because like I have a lot of like support from like, since a kid, I've always had like hardworking people, like working class people that support me, you know, like that. So in my head, I'm like, I deserve them to give them a good fight. They spent their hard-earned money. They're doing back-breaking work to come watch me. So like they deserve a good fight, you know? So I feel like
September 13th, I think that's when Canelo's fighting Crawford, right? And the UFC has their event too. So they're fighting during the day, and then the Noche UFC is that night. So I'm taking that whole day off.
Yeah, it's a good, like that's the perfect thing though. Like you gotta spend your whole day watching like good fights, spend time with your family. Like me, that day I'll be in bed, like be at home all day watching the fights. Like every time there's a good fight on, I have to watch it. Like my girlfriend's always like, "We gotta watch boxing today," and I'm like, "Yes, bro." Like it's this like. I forgot, what was it, like the Cinco de Mayo weekend when it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh yeah, the whole week.
All 3 days I had to watch.
We're not doing anything.
Yeah,
we're sitting here. Maybe we'll order in or something.
Yeah,
watching.
We have to watch the fights. I can't miss
that still. So obviously, you now you have a community behind you, right? You have the people that know you.
Yeah.
They know who you are from being a little kid. Some people are getting to know you now.
Yeah.
That you turned pro just recently. Not too long ago, right?
Yeah, a little less than a year.
So now you have a little more of a following, and it's only gonna get bigger as you kind of progress through your career. How is that like? Do you get more people like hitting you up now, or maybe on Instagram? I know a lot of people like with me because I do photography. Sometimes I get brands like they'll be like, "Oh, but I'm not even the model.
Yeah,
it's the photographer." You know what
I mean? Yeah. Sometimes I get like more people that reach out, but like I've always like had like the same kind of like supporters. Like my family is very like supportive of me. All my family from other states.
Yeah.
And then like at work, like I have a lot of the older people that I work with at work, like my supervisors, like other guys, like from like I have a lot of friends from like Cuba, like the Dominican Republic, like different dudes like that, and they all support me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but like as far as like my social media has been growing, so like I have like more people, like sponsors, like people reaching out to work with me and stuff like that. So like that is helpful, but other than that, it's like kind of like the same people that support me, you know? Like,
I know
working class people. Like I have a lot of people that are like working class people that just.
I think that's one thing about Garden City, right? You like the people here. When they find something or someone to support, and they're good people or good organizations, good businesses, they usually like really support.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I have like all my like my coworkers, my family, like they're all like hardworking people. So like they all like get behind me and they support me, you know, like I have an uncle that always is like, a lot of my uncles and all my family, they are always like we're all pitching to help, like going to tournaments. Like I never really had like big businesses sponsor me, but like it was always like all my uncles be like, oh, here's $100, here's $100.
Yeah.
To help me get to the tournament, because they're like, we want you to get ahead. We'll help you out. Or like my dad would be like, oh, I'll pay for this so you can go. So you can get ahead in life, you know? So,
yeah. See, that's one thing that I like about like boxers, especially some of the guys that have made it all the way to the top. It's typically guys that's like maybe came not from like nothing, you know, but it's usually boxers that are moving up and they're not necessarily the richest or have the most money out there. Which is one of the reasons I think like Jake Paul gets a lot of crap.
Yeah.
Because like you have to take the hard road, right? You start in the amateurs.
Yeah.
Growing up, you got to move up the ladder. Up and because you eventually do want to make a career out of it.
Yeah,
you want to make money out of it.
Yeah, that's the end goal, like get paid what you have to do what you love, you know.
But I think when I think about that, like when people talk crap on Jake Paul, one thing that I think about is like there's a big difference between a real boxer, a boxer that's actually going to be recognized and remembered for what they did in the ring, where he's not gonna have that. You know what I mean? Like be like.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like all the glory is like me. I want to be known as the baddest dude to lace with her gloves. But at the end of the day, like that don't pay your bills. But like, so, like he's making millions of dollars, so like I can't knock him.
No, and that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But I think people would feel better if they look at it for what it is. Like he's obviously not a boxer; he's there to make money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's a spectacle. Where a boxer like Julio Cesar Chavez or even Mayweather, even though he's got all the money in the world too. Or who knows, because he just got sued not too long ago. But even like him, like they are known because of what they've done in the ring.
Yeah.
Jake Paul's just known for knocking out dudes that are past their prime, not necessarily boxers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like people would feel a little better if they looked at it that way instead of like,
instead of, that's because like you got to take it for what it is. He's a YouTuber. He's not a real boxer. But he is bringing good things to the sport though, because like he has a promotion that puts on a lot of shows, and whenever he has fights, like all the people on his undercard, like I remember he had a show in Cleveland, and he told everybody on the card, he's like, I want them to make the biggest purse they've ever made in their career. So he paid them out of his purse, everybody extra. Like Amanda Serrano was the first person to ever make woman to make $1 million.
Yeah, that's wild. And he's got her under his wing.
Yeah,
so like every time he fights, she fights. I care. Oh yeah, because she fought and she's fighting her again.
Yeah, on the she fought. Tyson. He had her like. And the thing is too, like he's putting, like whenever he fought, he had like Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. He had Mario Barrios, Cecil Ramos.
That was a good one.
So like he's putting boxers on, honestly. Like at first I used to be kind of a hater, but now I'm like, like I appreciate him because he's bringing a lot more fans. He's getting a lot of boxers more money, so you can't really knock him.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true. I think a lot of people, they don't think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, because when there's in a boxing event, you have a lot of fights that don't even make it. Well, I guess they don't make it to like the pay-per-view, right? But you do have a lot of people fighting on the undercard that are actually...
They're bad dudes, but they ain't even getting paid anything. But like he went out of his way to be like, I don't need the money. I'll pay you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So question, I think I've seen picture you with Crawford before.
Yeah. I met Terrence Crawford whenever I was... like 2017 at a tournament. I remember I was so happy to meet him because he's one of my favorite fighters. So I met him, and I remember I was so excited. I wanted to scream when I saw him. But yeah, I met him whenever I was like 13 years old. I think 12 or 13 at a tournament.
So what do you think of? Have you watched any of the conferences or anything like that?
Nah. I just saw that they got like started pushing each other kind of a little bit, but. I don't know. I feel like Crawford, you don't really like. He's not someone that's gonna back down from no one.
Oh yeah, 100%. What do you have a favorite in that fight?
I know I'm Mexican, so people are finna like, hey, where you're supposed to support your countrymen, but like I don't really care for that. Like I'm gonna go for whoever I think. But me personally, I think Terrence Crawford's gonna win.
Yeah.
I feel like Canelo struggles against guys that move very well, and I feel like Terrence Crawford's good on his feet. So I feel like unless Canelo catches him and hurts him, I feel like Terrence Crawford's gonna win by decision. Gotcha.
Yeah, no, I think it's iffy, man. It's iffy. Because you could go based on like the Canelo fight, the last one, because he could have cut off the ring. Right, people are telling now you could have cut off the ring and tried a little harder. But I know one thing: Crawford is he's gonna bring it.
Yeah,
I guess the only concern is like, okay, can he? He's fighting at that heavier weight class, but I'm sure naturally he's pretty close to that.
Yeah, he's a big, like if you see him in person, bro, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
And Canelo ain't really they're the same size, bro. Canelo ain't that big. He's like 5'8", 5'9".
This episode is sponsored by Southwest Boxing Club, located here in Garden City, Kansas, at 107 Jenny Barker Road, Suite 5A. If you're seriously considering getting into shape or becoming a boxer like Eric Valencia, definitely give them a call at 620-937-0743 or shoot them an email at swbc620@gmail.com and give them a like on Facebook and Instagram. Anyway, now let's get back to our interview with Eric Valencia. So, do you have a dream opponent? Like if you could fight any fighter that's like on the roster now, like in the the big dudes, I guess any weight class.
Any weight class?
Like who would be someone that you would like to share the ring with?
Like present or like
present.
Present. I probably want to fight Devin Haney or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to fight Devin Haney.
Yeah, he's a wild one, man.
Yeah, actually, that's not really that as realistic because he's bigger than me. But at 135, probably like Tank or Shakur because those are the money fights. So
because Haney's like, what is it like? I mean, I would say naturally he's a big dude.
Yeah, he's big.
He fights at what?
He fights at 144 now.
Like at 160 something, like natural.
Nah, not even. He probably walk around like 170 because you see him. He's like 5'10", 5'11". So and he's swole. So like he's walking around like 170, 180.
So he should be fighting like around 160. Like if because he does cut. Yeah, he cut a little weight.
Yeah, he probably like at 147.
Yeah,
like because like he's like Terrence Crawford size. So like probably 147 is probably his like ideal weight, but I don't think he'll fight at 147. He don't really have the power to keep none of those like elite guys off of him. So I don't know what he'll do.
What you think of the Ryan Garcia versus Rolly?
I feel like that fight was horrible. I don't know, Ryan Garcia. I'm honestly, I'd fight Ryan Garcia. I've been a Ryan. You can call me a Ryan Garcia hater, but I've never been a fan of Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, I think. I mean, the last when he fought Haney. That was wild.
Yeah, I always bet against Ryan Garcia. I ain't gonna lie, but that time he proved me wrong, I guess. But
yeah, that was crazy, that whole thing. So Haney would be one guy that you would want to fight.
Yeah, I'd want to fight him.
Now, what about a fight you want to see? Like a fight you want to see, like on the roster now, like someone that you would want to see fight each other. Does a lot of things, a lot of times, what happens, even in UFC, is they don't make the fights when they should be made. Like Manny Pacquiao when he fought Mayweather. Like I almost felt like Manny Pacquiao was already not that he was like past his prime. Yeah. But I feel like that fight would have been made better if they made it a lot sooner. Because maybe 2 or 3 years sooner.
Yeah, probably it would be a little better. But I feel like the business side of things gets in that way.
Yeah. And I think that happens in boxing a lot. You know what I mean? Instead of like making the fights, which I guess that's why Turkey is in now. But so what's a fight that you would like to see?
Like I got like a couple, but like one of the fights I'd want to see is like there are two guys that are like barely on the come up. Shakur Stevenson has a little cousin named Zaquin Moses.
Okay. And
then there's Mayweather, a guy that signed to Mayweather's promotion. His name's Kamal Moten. And then I remember I watched him fight in the amateurs in Detroit, and I remember like whenever like there's good fights, like there's always like their whole city and their whole city are just like next to each other, like almost like looks like it's about to be a brawl, but they're screaming at each other. And then this past tournament, I think they got into it, like they started like beefing with each other. So I'm like, I want to see that fight. And then I'd probably want to see like right now there's a lot of the good fights are gonna start happening, but I don't want to see Jaron Ennis and Brian Norman fight. I feel like that'd be a good fight at 147, or Virgil Ortiz and Boots at 154. I feel like those are a couple fights that I'd like to see.
Virgil. Yeah, that'd be a good fight.
Yeah, that'd be a real good fight. But I don't know. I just like boxing getting a lot better now, so I feel like that those are like a couple fights, like two young guys at like prime. I would want to see.
Boxing is like it's really gotten good. You know what I mean? Here for a couple years it was kind of weird, but I feel like now it's getting good. Especially the heavyweight division, man. There for a long time, like the heavyweight division was kind of like weird. If they had Wilder, they had was it Usyk? So Usyk, Tyson, and Anthony Joshua, right? Like they were the three horsemen is what they call them back in the day.
Well, I feel like it was more because like they're overseas. So like here in America, like heavyweight division ain't really like.
Yeah, really. There's a young guy, and I don't know what he's from California, and I think he's from Tulare, California.
Oh, Richard Torres. Yeah.
What weight class is that guy?
He fights at like 200 pounds. My coach actually works with him he always goes to the Olympic Training Center, and I have a coach that always like
so he would be what, a cruiser?
No, he's a heavyweight. Right? He's just really small for a heavyweight.
Yeah. So he looks good, man.
Yeah, he is looking real good. It's just that like at this point, like he hasn't fought like no one that's like, very, very good. But whenever he fights someone at his level, I feel like it'll make him look a little bit more better. Like I feel like his skill, like I feel like when you have a lot of skills, I feel like whenever you fight a guy that isn't as skilled as you, you kind of like fall asleep and it doesn't get you into your zone as much. But whenever you fight someone as good as you, it wakes you up and it brings you, it forces you to bring more out of you. So
like all your senses, everything's got to be on point.
Yeah, like because it gets you more in the flow. So I feel like if you fight someone that's better than him, he's gonna bring more out of him. So I feel like I'm a fan of him.
Yeah,
and he seems like a real funny dude. So
yeah, that's one thing I like when I like is because I don't follow any sport except for boxing and UFC or MMA. You know what I mean? UFC, even some kickboxing. But one thing I like to do is like I like to watch the up and coming guys, right? Because eventually they'll make it to where now they're getting their shot, and now you really get to see what they're made of, what they're, you know what I mean? That's one thing I'd like to see. So do you have a walkout song already for your fight? So let's talk a little bit about the fight, because that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring you in is you have a fight. Yeah, it's under the Wilder.
Yeah, I'm fighting on Deontay Wilder's undercard, and this Friday in Wichita.
Yeah. So do you get a walkout song whenever for something like this?
Yeah, I'll probably we're gonna be able to walk out to the music, but I like overthink everything, so I haven't really thought of the.
Yeah, that's like the last
thing. Like it takes you like for the past 2 months, I've been trying to decide what song I want to work out to, but I usually don't decide till last minute.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something that's kind of funny is because like in wrestling right now, in high school wrestling. They recently started doing. First of all, they started doing belts, right? Like for some of the wrestling tournaments. The other thing is they're making walkout songs, I think now.
Oh, that's cool.
So when they do a home duel, like the kids in the home team has walkout songs that too. So that's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, it adds more, like it makes it more funner. Yeah, because you get to add your own little like your swag to it. Like whatever you like. Well, I'll probably walk out to like Mexican music or something like that.
One thing I think about the music is, it actually does kind of give you a little boost of confidence. When you're walking out to your song and you're vibing to it, I think that alone gives you some confidence.
Yeah, and it gets you in your zone. Like everybody listens. Like every time you see an athlete, they're always like before a game they're listening to music. So like it helps you like get locked in.
Yeah. So what's something that you like to do outside of boxing that kind of helps you chill, like something you have to do? You do have a girlfriend, right?
Yeah, I have a girlfriend.
I like to hang out with her. We gotta definitely make time for her. You can't. You know what I mean.
Honestly, I'm kind of boring. All I do is just. I feel like sometimes people are always like, you don't have a life, but you know what I mean. I got to this point in my life being like that, like having no balance. But honestly, like besides boxing, like even if I don't have a fight, I'm always in the gym. Like I go to the gym every day. Like I could fight Saturday and I'll be in the gym Monday. And I still always I like to work out. I like to go to the gym, lift weights, run. But like besides like that, I feel like probably like I like eating. Like that's my favorite thing to do. Like I like always look forward to like the weekend going out to eat.
So after your fight's over and everything, like is there something that you like? One thing that I like to do anytime I go out anywhere or go out of town, I try to find a Mexican restaurant where have tacos de tripa. It's like that's the like that I rate them. I do a Google review on everything because I try them everywhere I go. I have to have at least some tacos de tripa so I could do a review. Because my favorite ones here right now is Puerto Nuevo on 5 Points.
Which was that?
It's
Mariscos?
Mariscos with
Yeah,
queso,
yeah.
because their tacos de tripa are so good. So I'm always and their chips and salsa is like.
Oh, I can't eat tripas because I be seeing it at work whenever it gets when they cut open the cow and I see them whenever they put them through the Jose Clino. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, see, I don't see that, so that's probably why I enjoy them.
But like post fight, like I remember for the longest time as an amateur, I'd always have like every time I'd win a fight, I'd order a large Papa John's pizza afterwards and eat a pizza. So like that's always like my go-to is pizza and like a hamburger or something.
Yeah,
like
favorite pizza, like a crust and all that, or like
it just depends. Like now I used to always just eat the pepperoni, but now like my girlfriend kind of makes me try like new food and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So now I'll usually get like every time I get a pizza after a fight, I always try to get a different one. But I really like Old Chicago's pizza. It's like a Thai pie pizza.
Oh, okay.
It's like chicken and I forgot what else is on it, but it's really good. So that's one I've been like my new I forgot how to say it, like hyperfixation. Like that's what I'll eat for like probably another year, and then I get tired of it and I eat something different.
Nice. So obviously boxing the gym is the thing you like to do.
Yeah, that's all I like to do.
Yeah. Like outside of photography, I don't really do much either. You know, like if it wasn't for Karen, I probably wouldn't do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
She does I call it, she takes me hostage. Like sometimes I'll get in the car and she'll be like, yeah, we're going to the store. And then we drive and it's like, hold on, the store's over here. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, take it in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm like that too a little bit. Like I feel like I always have to I kind of dissociate from everybody whenever I'm like I'll go like months without talking to my friends, or like I have friends, but then I don't see them for a long time, or even like just my family in general. Like I feel like I'm so so focused and locked in on what I want to do, and like fight after fight, tournament after tournament, like I kind of forget about everything. So I feel like I need to do a better job about keeping a balance, but it's just kind of hard, like I'm so locked in on what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's kind of hard to have balance. I feel like that's something I probably do need to get better at, but I do lack that a lot. But sometimes whenever I do have a chance, I always like try to hang out with my friends and once in a while. Yeah. And it's kind of hard though, because like all of them are kind of like, everybody has a life now. We're all older. So when we get together, I do appreciate it. I'm like, man, I wish I could do this more. But
is your girlfriend, is she very family oriented?
Yeah, like they're very, like she's very family oriented and she kind of keeps me in check. Like, hey, check on your mom, check on your.
Oh God.
Like me, because like I kind of like I don't mean to forget about something, but like if I'm not.
You think about your mom, right?
Yeah, I do think about them, but it's just that like I get so focused on what I'm doing on the task that's on. Like I feel like I'm on a mission, so like anything else
for tunnel vision.
Yeah, like so anything else doesn't matter to me, and I feel like it's bad.
It sounds bad, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean because I do the same thing. I have a goal, and it's not like everything else doesn't matter. It's that I become so infatuated with that one thing. Yeah, that it becomes my main source of living. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how I am. Like that's how I've been for years, man. Like I just locked in on the same thing, same mission. So I feel like you just have to have tunnel vision. But at the end of the day, like people can be like, "Oh, you're selfish," but
you have the right type of girlfriend though, because Karen is like that with me. Like she is the one telling me, "Hey, have you talked to your mom? Have you called? Hey, call your sister." Have her come over, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and I love that because I feel like that's a part of me that it's not super natural for me or it's not natural for me to be that way.
Yeah.
So, but I'm more conscious about it now. I think about it now. You know what I mean? Like, oh, maybe it's been like 3 days.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to get better at it because she'll be like, when was the last time you talked to mom? I was like, it's been a couple of months. And then she's like, bro, like you don't check up on nobody. You need to check up on your friends. I'm like, oh man, I love them, but it's just that I feel like, and then the good thing though is that like the people around me understand,
Yeah, 100%.
They understand like, oh, you can't, like he's busy doing, like he's working on something. He's not just full like BSing,
Yeah. So the fight coming up, do you know have you watched tape on your opponent? Do you have that?
I had an original opponent, but I think he pulled out or something. And then they got me a new opponent like a month ago, and I've been watching like a little bit of film on him a little bit. I found a little fight.
Yeah, did you hear of him before?
No, I never really heard about him, but when I watched the fight, I see like he's decent, you know what I mean? You got to take everybody you got to have a healthy respect for everyone, but you know what I mean? I just know I got too much skills for him, and if I hit, I feel like he gets hit a lot, so if he gets hit by me, he's going to go to sleep, Yeah,
I will say that's one of the neat things about you as a boxer, right? Because like a person that has a job, they know what to do, right?
Yeah.
They know, okay, this is what I have to do in order to make this, or in order to complete my job, I have to do.
Yeah.
You have to go through the steps. You have to watch tape, and you get to see, okay, like it's really cool to see the science behind actually reading your opponent and knowing, okay, I gotta adjust my game plan for this or that.
It's like everybody thinks boxing is like a tough man sport, but like being tough in boxing gets you hurt.
Yeah,
gets years taken off your life. So I feel like you gotta be like with anything, like you have to study your let's say like you're a photographer, you gotta study how to be the best photographer. You gotta learn from other people. Boxing the same way. You gotta study your competition, learn from everybody, have a mentor, your coaches, they're there to teach you, make you the best you can be. So like
I noticed one thing when it comes to really to anything that you do is like you have to put time into whatever you want to be good at.
Yeah.
Because if it's just it's the reality thing. I'll tell my kids, you cannot be the best at everything.
No, you got to get out. Like there's like you can't, like when people are like, oh, I do all these sports, but I'm like, you gotta be
average at everything.
Yeah, you're a man at many things, but the master of none. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's what, and so I'm a gamer. I love playing video games. Do I play now? No.
Yeah.
Because this became my game.
Yeah, it takes away from.
Yeah, like the photography became my game, but I love it just as much. I feel like I get the same thing out of doing photography than I did out of playing video games.
Yeah.
The good thing is that photography makes me money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Video games doesn't make me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I feel like that's what I always tell people. Like you need to find a hobby that makes you money. You know what I mean? Like me, like I remember I told my girlfriend, I'm like, this is boxing is my hobby. They're like, no, that's your job now. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like I didn't think about it like that. Like, oh, I'm living the dream now.
So there's a philosopher I like to listen to. He's already passed away. His name's Alan Watts. And one of the things that he talked about is like get paid to play.
Yeah.
And I listened to this whole speech about it, and I was like, you know what? That's what you want to do.
Yeah.
You want to make it to, not that photography and running a business isn't hard, but I'm literally doing something I love to do. And I'm able to make money off of it. And sometimes I'm like, man, that's weird.
Yeah.
How did I just make money doing this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, that's
obviously I'm not like, I don't have to worry about someone else like, oh, let's have a shoot off with the camera.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna go at each other. Yours is a whole different thing though, because obviously you're preparing. Every time you go to the ring, you're gonna get hit. You know, and so it's crazy that for you, that's your out. Is like, okay, I'm going in there. This guy's gonna try to get me, so I got to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy because you think about it like you're about to. Like I'm preparing to hurt somebody and he's preparing to hurt me.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I feel like when people think about it like that, I feel like it's just a sport at the end of the day. Like I'm trying to hit you and you're trying to hit you as much as I can and not get hit back. But it's a cruel sport, like you're trying to hurt each other. But I feel like at the end of the day, like it's always like love and respect. But like to go back on what you said, like I feel like you do have to like study everything you do. Like I remember being in school and like the teacher would be like, Eric, you need to do your work. And I'm like, no, I'm watching boxing. They're like, that's not your schoolwork. But I'm like, in my head, I'd always be like, well, this is going to be my job. So like, I need to study whatever I'm doing. So like, in order to be the best at what you want to do, you got to focus on one thing.
I was the same way when I was in school. Is like, I would get caught drawing or stuff like that. And I was like, that's what I've always been artistic here. And so I was always on that, like always doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I have a hard time doing things that people want me to do.
Yeah, that's how I am. Like I'll sit there and watch hours of boxing, but if you put me in a classroom and I'm not interested, I'm just gonna zone out and just start.
Yeah. I don't even think that it's like some people have a hard time learning. It's just like it's just not triggering. Yeah, your interest. You know what I mean?
It's not interesting to you.
Yeah, so like naturally, you just want to shut it off.
Yeah, like me, something that interests me, I could sit there and watch hours and hours of it. But if it's something that's not, I'm just gonna sit there and daydream about what I really want to really want to do. Yeah.
So, is there anything or anyone that you want to shout out that might be watching this? Like, we all have people that that we look up to, people that we're super thankful for things that they do for us or they've done for us. People that have passed. You know what I mean? Like me, I always talk about my stepdad. I feel like if it wasn't for him when I moved to Kansas, like for me, that's when life began. You know what I mean? Because everything else was like, as a little kid, was out of my control, like everything. So when I moved here, like that's someone I shout out all the time. By the way, his name is Juan Ramirez, and that was my stepdad. And so that's like the guy for me. One of the male figures that I have, that will always like look up to, you know, and respect and everything. I always bring them up in conversation. Is there anybody? It could be several people. Obviously your coach is a big part of your life, right?
Yeah, my coaches. One of my coaches, Nikki, like she started coaching me when I was like 17, 18, and she brought me in and treated me like a son. She opened up her doors to me, and you know what I mean? She helped me like believe in myself a lot more. Like I went to her like not really that confident, and she told me like, bro, you can be good. You just need to work on this, and you need to believe in yourself. So like always, like no matter where I go in my career, I'm always gonna have her with me, because like that lady, like without that lady, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And then like also like my parents, you know, like my dad and my mom, like I watched them grow up my whole life, them working hard. And like my mom working 2 jobs in order to keep a roof over her head. My dad working 12-hour shifts, like always having to be at work to provide for, like doing whatever it takes to provide for his family, you know? So like that hard work was always instilled in me. And in my head, I'm always like, they worked so hard to give me a chance at life. So like I owe them. So like I owe them, all my family, everyone that supported me, all my coaches, like they worked hard to give me an opportunity to be able to do better for myself, to be able to chase my dream. Like my dad's always like, I'm gonna support you whatever you want to do, so you don't have to work. Like I work hard so you can chase your dream. Like I don't want for me to work hard and you like go do the same thing as me. Like I want you to do what you want to do. So like that's why I always try to like, I never like in my head, there's sometimes I shied away from the path whenever I was a little younger, but then in my head I'm always like, I got people I got to make proud. Like they did this for me. Like what am I if I just go off and mess it up? Like I have to stay focused. Like I have a lot of people I want to make proud, you know, like at the end of the day, I can't repay none of them. I can't repay my coaches, but I can make them proud, you know? Like that's what I do it for, like my family. And then like I want to like very thankful for my mom, my dad, all my coaches, Juan, all my coaches, even in the past, like my coach, I had like my first coach is Robert Gonzalez. I remember he probably trained 100 boxers in his life, but like me growing up, I was like, oh, this older man, he's taking us kids, he's taking us all around the country. So like I always have like, because of that, I always had like, I never always thought bigger than just Garden City. I was always like, oh, like I want to be able to, like I always had a bigger like imagination than someone that just was stuck here their whole life. I was able to go see the world, other places. So that kind of made my imagination bigger. And then had him as my coach. Eduardo Castillo was my coach whenever I was younger also. And then Juan, I always appreciate Juan because like even whenever he wasn't my coach, he always looked out for me. Like if I needed boxing equipment, or if I needed a place to stay, or like stuff like that, he always had my back. Like even whenever he wasn't even my coach and he started his own gym and I was at the other gym, he always looked out for me. Judy was always like another mother to me. You know what I mean? Always looked out for me. Always there for me if I needed anything. So like I feel like I have a great team. That's why I'm able to do what I do. Like and I'm very appreciative. I always try to show appreciation to all of them, you know, because they've done so much for me that like I can't really pay them back, you know. But like that's why I try to go hard and be able to be a role model to all the kids at the gym and stuff like that. Because me in my head, I'm like, I can't pay them back for the stuff they've done for me. Like they've given me years of their time, but I'm able to give it back. Like, oh, I'm gonna be a positive influence on the little kids. I'm gonna give them advice and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, one thing is you never know who's watching you, right? Like you may not think that you're a role model to anybody, but there's definitely someone watching you. And I did a lot of video shooting for the wrestling team this last season, and there's a video clip of one of the boys winning, and obviously I'm focusing on him as he's getting up. And when I look at when I really looked at footage and I looked at the fans, like of the people on the sideline, there's a little kid. As soon as he got the pin, he jumped in there like super fun. That little kid, right? And I'm like, you know, that's crazy because that's like when he won, he gets help and he's like, he's
21 too.
But the little kid behind him, he didn't see that, you know. But I saw it on tape, like how that kid was like so happy for him to win. And I'm like, I bet you anything later on that kid, I may be even recording that kid when he's already older, doing the same thing. And it's like, man, that moment right there, it's amazing how much we don't see. Because we're obviously on our own journey ourselves, you know what I mean? But I used to call myself a lone wolf, like, everything I do was me. Yeah, I do it. I got here. You know what I mean? But when I really look back, I realized like, oh no, there's just no way. I had so much support
I'm
around.
like that sometimes too. Like I used to be like, well, I'm a one man team. Like not a one man team because I know I got my coaches, but I'm like, I have to go in the ring and do that by myself.
Yeah.
Like the pressure's on me. But at the end of the day, you gotta look back at it like I wouldn't be in this position if it wasn't for people.
Which is true, right? When you get on that ring, you like it's all on you at the end. It's like, hey.
But to get to that point, you need an army of people. Like me, I can't be like, oh, I did this on my own because I didn't pay for like I worked a job and to help provide for myself. But to get to those tournaments, it wasn't cheap. I had a family of people, a lot of supporters to help me get there. Like it takes people. It takes a team to like be able to get to where you want to go. You know, you can't really do it by yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you see it that way. You know, because like you say, you're 21 years old. I think a lot of people grow up and they don't see that from the get go. I'm like you. I watched my mom work her butt off to get us to a certain level, and so for me, I like my thing has always been, there's no way that I would ever let my mom down, but not taking advantage of her sacrifices and doing something with myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how I feel like I owe it to them. Like, or like whenever I see kids like at the gym and they're not taking it serious, I'm like, bro, your dad, like there's a kid that was at the gym like mouthing off and messing around. I'm like, bro, I literally just saw your dad working construction down the street, sweating his butt off, bro. Like I literally like, and then I'll see kids that their parents work at the plant with me and I'll see them and I'm like, bro, like your dad's and mom are there doing backbreaking work and you're gonna come here and mess around when they're working hard to give you something to do. Like, come on, bro, take it serious. And like, I know they're kids, bro, but like, I try to always like instill that into them. Like, bro, your parents are like busting their butt to give you this opportunity to do something.
Yeah, because they're
most of it.
Yeah, because they overlook it, obviously. You know what I mean? They're at the gym and everything. Their dad's over there working their butt off. The mom's working. Now, I will say, so I want you to, I know your mom has a business, right? She has I want you to shout her out.
Yeah, shout out Jim's Cleaning Services. My mom has a, what's it called? Cleaning service. And then she does like bartending and stuff like that. She does it all, you know?
Yeah,
she does bartending. She does, she has her cleaning business. So she does it all. You know what I mean? She's
does she have an Instagram or a Facebook page?
Yeah, I think it's Gems Cleaning on Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, whatever you need.
I'll try to put her on.
Yeah, for sure, man. If you ever need any to get your house cleaned or anything, yo, my mom, man, she'll get you right.
Yes, sir. And then now your dad's a music artist.
Yeah, my dad's a music artist too. His name's Cinclón La Tormenta on YouTube and stuff like that. So like, I feel like that's one thing too. Like my dad was always like, I'm gonna support you in your dreams. Like my dad was never like, or my parents were never like, hey, bro, you need to go to school. Like they saw that I worked hard and I loved what I do, so they're like, all right. Like they were never like, bro, you need to be realistic. Like that was never. My dad never like. The only thing my dad ever told me, like he saw me messing up, like not really taking the gym serious. He's like, hey, bro, like you're wasting your time. You need to, if you're just gonna be messing around and not working hard and just lose fights and you don't care, go to school.
Yeah.
But like me, and then after that, I'm like, all right, I gotta tighten up. So ever since then, like I'm like, all right, I gotta take this serious. So like my dad's always been supportive, like chase your dreams. My mom's like, chase your dreams, I'll support you. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to do better for yourself. So I've always had like my parents always, I owe a lot to my parents. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to do it without them.
That's good. So just trying to get wrapped up. What is something that you would say to like the younger you coming up? Like anything that you would have done different or changed, or
if I was a kid, like me to like little kids, or like to me personally?
To you personally. Or to other kids, like other kids that are coming up, you know what I mean, that are just now starting.
Just like even if it's just not even boxing, like let's say you love to do something, stick to it. Like at the end of the day, like don't get distracted by the things you like. I feel like when you're growing up, and like let's say you grow up single mother household, you don't have like much, you know what I mean? It's easier to go, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends and go do some bad stuff, you know what I mean? Because that gives you, it makes you feel like you're a part of something, if that makes sense. But like just find what you love and your passion and chase, and if that's what you want to do, don't let no one tell you that you can't do it. Because if you're really willing to give everything, like you're willing to trade your life for it, anything that you speak into existence is gonna come to you. Like I remember having like my record as an amateur boxer, I remember it was like 10 and like 30 at one point. I was not the best. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've always been good. I was not the best as a kid. But like even at that point, I was like delusional enough to be like, it's gonna be worth it. I'm gonna continue working hard. I'm gonna have faith in myself. Like, and then now I look back at it, like I didn't realize it, but like that dream gave me purpose, and it gave me like something to look forward to.
Yeah.
And it kept me away from all the BS and all the bad stuff that goes on in life. Like it kept me on a straight, not a straight and narrow, because I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm perfect, but it kept me like locked in, and it kept me away from a lot of stuff. So that's why I always tell kids, like, whatever you do, like whatever you want to do in life, like I don't want to, like, some people are like, be realistic. Like, don't be realistic. You got to be delusional to do what you want to do.
I was gonna say that.
Like, you got to be like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm gonna sit here and I'll be at work manifesting whatever I want to do in life. And sometimes people are like, what are you doing? And then I tell my boss, I'm like, I'm just speaking out what I want into the world.
Yeah.
And I remember like the position I am now, like where I get a fight on ex-world champions undercard. I remember being at work at Tyson, like when I was 18, I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
So I feel like the little kids, like, just believe in yourself, and like, don't let no one like tell you that you can't do it. Like whatever you want in this world, as long as you're willing to bust your butt, have discipline, like you can do it. You know what I mean? Like don't give up, like just stay on it, and eventually everything's gonna be worth it.
Nice. So your fight coming up, like, is there, what how do you think it's gonna go?
I feel like I know I'm gonna win. You know, like I bust my butt, like, and I don't like to predict knockouts, but I feel like my opponent makes too much mistakes, and I feel like if you see me fight, like, you know, I can punch. You know, anybody that is a fan of me knows what I can do. So I feel like if he makes some mistakes in front of me, like, he's gonna go to sleep. You know, so But I'm not looking past anybody. Anybody with a pair of gloves on has is dangerous. You know, any man
puncher's chance. I mean,
anybody in the ring is like, I know I'm gonna have a healthy respect for anybody I step in the ring with. Like I study the sport too much to overlook anybody, because people overlook somebody that they're like, oh, he's not that good, and come out and get beat. You know what I mean? So like, I respect the sport too much and everybody in it. So like, I know I'm not gonna, like, there's no fight is easy. So I feel like I have too much skills for him, and I'm in shape. You know what I mean? I put all the work in. So I feel like I'm gonna win in dominant fashion for sure.
Nice. All right, man. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. This is one of many conversations. Eric happens to be the first boxer that we have on the show. But fight's happening, and it's streaming on
it's gonna be streaming on, I think, pay-per-view.com, or I think it's BLK Prime Boxing. So it's gonna be on pay-per-view if you're wanting to check it out.
Yeah, so stay tuned, and thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate your time, and we'll catch you next time. Nice, man. Good job, dude.